Hello, welcome back to One to the Force, a Star Wars podcast, and welcome to our solo spoiler-free review. I'm joined by Dave and George as usual. However, this is not the review we were expecting to do. Now we were expected to do, of course, a spoiler-free review, but not in the light we're going to do it. Guys, thoughts going into the film before you saw it?
Low expectations, I think, is probably the biggest phrase I would use for this. I was hoping for a decent movie, but if it wasn't, then I was ready to accept that as well.
With me, if anyone's seen Tuesday's episode, which I have to admit, we've had issues with SoundCloud getting it uploaded, so it should be up tomorrow. I was not looking forward to the film. I didn't do a midnight. I kind of had the lowest of low expectations, but at the same time high expectations because it still was a Star Wars film, and we'll get into that. But I just went in and had a blast. That's one way of putting it.
Indeed, if you saw Tuesday's show, if you've watched it on live with us, or if you've watched it on YouTube since then, or listened to it on iTunes, yeah, you will know our thoughts going into it. We expectations, some hope, because again, it is a Star Wars film with Ron Howard helming it. You have to have at least some hope going into it. The trailers have built some hype for me, but yeah, I had low expectations. He was sitting there at the start going, okay, this is going to be interesting. Let's just see how it goes. And I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, we're going to go through the film without spoiling anything. It's going to be very hard. We'll try and gloss over the major plot points because, of course, we don't want to ruin anything for anyone who hasn't seen it yet. So, general thoughts coming out of the film. We've done before. What happened afterwards?
I was absolutely thrilled. I came out of this movie like I came out of Rogue One as a happy customer of Star Wars. I came out of Episode 8 pretty much at my lowest ebb of seeing the new Star Wars movies, and it was on another level of joy. I really, really dug this movie. So happy when I came out that I couldn't get the smile off my face. It's as I said, it was mentioned, there are spoilers to be spoiled that will not be happening right now, but there is stuff out there. And if you're seeing this now before seeing the movie, which was strange, please don't spoil this for anybody. There are some great spoilers for people to discover as they go through this. But yeah, I was absolutely thrilled with the movie. I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, you saw it this morning. So what was your thoughts on
that? I came out very happy. I think what Dave said with the other Star Wars films, Episode 7, I came out crying still from Han Solo's death. Spoiler alert. Rogue One, I came out, my mind had been blown. It was one of the best things I've ever seen. Episode 8, I came out on a hype train. I absolutely loved it, but there was the confusion within that everyone else didn't like it, so it took head wrapping around that. I did like it. However, with Solo, I had a very weird reaction. I really enjoyed it. So I came out quite just happy, like not. I think I was blown away, but I wasn't blown away. There was something about it was like this was really enjoyable, but 90% of me just sat there traumatized, thinking about one thing that happened, which obviously we won't speak about. So I came out this as Krennic and Tarkin would put it. Your work exceeds all expectations. I think a lot of credit's got to go down to Ron Howard and for Kathleen Kennedy for obviously firing Phil Lord and Chris Miller. And it just worked. It's what you want from Star Wars. I think with these spin-off films, I've said before, I went ranty. You know, no one wants the Han Solo film, and if there's something you don't want, then it needs to blow you away. Almost like Jumanji. If anyone saw last year's Jumanji film, no one wanted that film, but it did amazing. And you know what? It was really good fun, and it worked. And I think Solo did work. We knew the core story, the basis. But what they did, the performances, the characters, the directing, the acting, the actual plot points and characters, it's a really fun ride. And it feels almost... This is more... I mean, it is a spin-off film, right? Rogue One to me doesn't feel like a spin-off. That could be an episode. That could be 3.9, 3.99. But this is the definition of a spin-off film, and it worked for the concept which they were trying to do. It enhances the story of the Solo character. So now when I go back and watch 4, 5, and 6, there's going to be tidbits which I'm like, oh look, Solo film, that's nothing but a good thing. This is a true experience of the episodes, and this has done it again.
Indeed, I went into that film. I sat down in my seat. I had my other half and a friend of mine with me, and I sat there. Screen went black, Lucasfilm logo comes up. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and I sat there going, I am prepared for this to be the one Star Wars film that I'm going to walk out of here and be disappointed, but knowing that I went into it prepared to be disappointed. I came out of that going, this is a Star Wars film that no one wanted them to make, but now everyone should see. That was my take coming out of it. There's, again, without spoiling anything, I agree with what George has said, and when you watch it, you'll understand what we mean by your mind is blown by a specific part of the film. But as an experience on a whole, I was enjoying it, and it got to the point where I realised in my head that the film must be coming to an end purely because the amount of time I've been sat in the seat, and just wondering, well, how are they going to wrap up? How are they going to do this? What are they going to do? Where can this go? My mind was just racing, and it was one of those things that I walked out enjoying that film more than I enjoyed Last Jedi. And I like Last Jedi, and to go on what these guys have said, I walked out of 7 still crying, still loving it. I walked out of Rogue One a very, very happy Star Wars fan. I walked out of 8 liking the film, but with conflicting emotions, and we've got over that over time. I've learned to love it more. This one, I came out and going, this was a film that I wasn't as hyped to see. I really wasn't. If you watch our Tuesday's episode, I was more excited for the experience, but not the film itself. I walked to that just chatting to Dave till about 4 o'clock in the morning, or gone 4 o'clock in the morning, going, what? This is... And that's all you can say without spoiling it, of course, but the initial reaction was just, what? Oh my god, they've managed to take a story I didn't want to see and make it something I want to see again. I can't give it any better praise than that. Yes, as I was saying to the guy before we came on camera, what a train wreck the film must have been before Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm had the balls to fire Phil Lord and Chris Miller. I mean, they have an executive producer credit, but you know they've reshot 80% of that movie. But what Ron Howard has done with that 80% is incredible in terms of to have such a train wreck of a production and to release such a solid product at the end of the day. Hats off to them. Really, really, absolutely phenomenal job to transform something that the public was unsure of, and then to have the drama and to come out with this. All fair play to them.
I mean, you're right. It played amazing. I'd love to find out in the future exactly how much is original content and then what was the rest of it reshot. I mean, it's not going to be that weird. I think the first 10, 15 minutes of this film take a bit of getting into. And they are. And it took me a little while. I hope this isn't going to be the rest of the movie, as it doesn't play very well. It's not paced very well, I don't think, the opening. And with showing some things, and it takes a bit of some character things in there that just don't quite sit right. But once you get past those first 10, 15 minutes, it really, once you start to get into the main crux of the story,
it picks up and picks up and picks up on that.
I found the pace got much better after that, and it rattled through. It really did. It flew by for me when it came around to the end. I was like, oh, we're finishing. It's great. And I mean, I guess from here we go into our thoughts. I mean, Alden Ehrenreich, I mean, hat doffed. I was the biggest critic I could be of what I thought he was going to do with this role. Sold it for me. By the time we got through this film, that was young Han Solo, and I really enjoyed his performance. George?
I liked him. I'm a big fan of Hail Caesar, if anyone's seen that. Obviously, we were all in the room when he got pulled out of Celebration, when he was officially confirmed 2 months after we already all knew. And this is more a marketing issue. The first trailer was abysmal. They picked poor shots of him, poor dialogue from him to demonstrate him as the Solo film, whereas once you get past that opening scene, there's a moment at the end of the opening scene where he kind of not becomes the character, because I wouldn't give it to that, but this is when you get, okay, this is the young Han Solo now, and he's not improvising Harrison Ford. He's not pretending to be Harrison Ford. He's given his own take on the character, and it very much reminded me of James Bond, in the sense of you'd have a different James Bond come. Not that I would.
It's a very, very good analogy. I like that. Yes. Yeah, completely agree.
And like the difference with James Bond is, of course, he's a famous book character. There's different ways of being him. Each Bond's been their own. Not that I want 7 different I want 7 different Han Solos. And then I had a bit of a Dumbledore vibe, where obviously when the original Dumbledore passed away, they brought in Michael Gambon, and it was the same character, just completely different costume, mannerisms, everything. It kind of felt like that, just an actor giving a performance. And by the time the film develops, I see that he's Han Solo, and he works as the Han Solo that this film is portraying, which is a good thing, because judging off that first trailer, I don't think it was just me, but a lot of people were very, very nervous about what was happening, especially when you go back to the rumors that happened when they fired Phil Lord and Chris Miller, the acting stuff. But I thought he was all right.
Yeah, this was the crux. If you go back and watch any of our shows, and thank you for anyone who has joined us, you will know that when that first trailer came out, all three of us started going, we like the look, but we don't like the lead. And when that's your problem, it's an issue. Now, for me, get past those opening 10-15 minutes. You have to establish characters anyway, so you kind of have to give it some grace anyway.
Rogue One's got a clunky opening as well, hasn't it?
Rogue One has a clunky opening as well. I mean, you get past that, and for me, he embodies the swagger and the charisma, but within that plays his own character, his own version of Han Solo. And there will be people out there. I know people, good friends of mine, who will just go, no, he's not Han Solo. Harrison Ford's Han Solo. This is different. And I respect people's opinions on that matter. Everyone has their own take on it. However, for me, by the end of that film, and I agree with you guys completely, he embodied that character to me of a younger Han, a younger version of what we come to know in 4, 5, and 6, to the point of I walked out of that film going, I want a sequel, I want more. And I did not think that was going to be my response.
It plays so well, the actual tone of it. I think you're right that the Bond analogy is great, that this is just another guy stepping in, just playing it his way. You're right, there was no intentional way he was speaking. He was not trying to do an impersonation in any way, but he came
even
across.
Without that, he managed to get the inflections right, and that was impressive.
I think inflections, certainly, if you're talking about inflections on accents, I think we go to Donald Glover after this, I think, and because people were expecting his Lando to be great. His Lando is great.
He is Lando.
I mean, the line from the trailer of everything you heard about me is true. That sums up his character for the entire film, without spoiling what his characters get up to. He is Lando. It is one of those things that also the other thing we haven't mentioned yet, we'll get onto is Chewie, but the interaction between those characters is how you expect and how you want it to be after seeing episode 5. Donald Glover managed to not only pull off the character of Lando, but managed to pull off just get that charisma. Because with Lando, you can do the swag, you can do the smooth talking voice, you can do the clothes, but if you can't turn it on, if you can't have that charm, you don't get Lando. And Donald Glover gets that. He manages to pull that charm off. And yeah, he's a smooth talking criminal. And by the end of it, it's Lando. It really is. With all due respect to Billy D. Williams, he is Lando. But if Donald Glover ever does more Lando, I am all for it.
Yeah, it very much reminds me of the sort of David Tennant, Christopher Eccleston. That Eccleston was the original, not original, but the reboot. And he was exceptional. And okay, there's going to be another one. He's a bit younger. Okay. And then David Tennant blew the world out of the water. Very different to this, but there's a bit of similarities within that. But the other thing is, this was the fan casting that every single person had for Lando. Everyone wanted Donald Glover. He looks like Billy D. Williams when he was younger. He's done comedy. He's done drama. He's obviously done music. And getting the casting was perfect. Every single thing we saw of him, costume trailers in the trailer, everything was perfect leading into this film. And he delivered. He delivered more than I thought he would deliver. There was that the back of my mind that I've hyped him up so good. Just if he's just good and not great, can I live with myself? And he was better than great. He embodied the character, and it was perfect. And I'm begging that he's on a multiple contract deal to get more of him. But he was such a wild mission, and he had fantastic chemistry with everyone, just like Billy D. Williams had. Not just one or two people he spoke to, he worked excellent with, and that even more.
Indeed. I mean, the other character we need to touch on, main character, is Chewie, and Yosu Tamo. That embodying someone in a suit is easier than doing the person in terms of the face. You don't have to worry about if they look like them, especially with Chewie. You don't have to worry if they're going to sound like it because you know that Matt Wood and his team will make him sound like Chewie. But you can tell he's paid attention to Peter Mayhew when he'd learned from him for Episode 7. The interactions between him and Alden Ehrenreicher's Solo, he plays it where he helps sell Solo more with that interaction. And of course, there are a number of scenes in this film that you fall in love with Chewie even more. There's one scene in particular we're not going to mention because, again, spoilers, but yeah, Chewie is just Chewie. To find out more about his backstory, to find out more about Solo's backstory, I mean, we'll get onto that much more, we'll get onto more of the storyline later, but it just helps fall in love with that character more. I end up walking out of the film going, Yosu Tamo has done a fantastic job over the course of the past 4 years, and I am more than happy for him to continue playing Chewie.
Chewie has more to do in this movie than we've probably seen him in all the other movies combined, really. I was really pleased with the portrayal of the character, what they gave him to do, the essential things. I mean, we're not spoiling anything. This is where Han and Chewie meet, and it is, don't worry about it, it is a really great thing. The way it's done in the film is really well done, because that could have been a disaster had that gone wrong. But yeah, I'm over the moon with Chewie as well. I thought it was really well done. George, you were sorry about to say I cut you off, mate.
I was like, Chewie's great. Eunice has kind of embodied it. I think we knew this was going to be his film, that we've had him in joint working in Episode 7 with it. 8, all he kind of did was sit on a rocking island and sit in the Falcon cockpit. So that this is going to be the one. We've got him and Han back together again, the new Han, the new Chewbacca. And it was almost like a buddy cop that we knew they'd meet in this film. We knew they'd have to develop. But again, they surpassed expectations with that. Sorry. And then just physically, he was great. The trailers show him suplexing someone. We see him actually doing things for once, rather than just supporting. Like, there are moments where he is in a lead, and he is both intimidating as a Wookiee, and he has a bit of personal story added in the mix too. So I thought he did an excellent job, especially as one of the leads. He did great. I mean, okay, he's a Wookiee, but everyone that seemed to have a good time.
But that's the thing, though, as you just said, that you kind of stumble and say, "Oh, he's just a Wookiee," but he makes you feel he's more than just a Wookiee. He's managed to get Peter Mayhew's little head nods, little movements down, and he's just made that character come to life more.
It's because I was going to hear great chemistry of everyone, but you can't really see that because it's a Wookiee. That's what's
I say that he manages to get those inflections down, even with the little head movements, the bubbles, the little noises. Okay, done by Matt Wood and his team, as I said, but no, fantastic job by Eunice. We're going to move on to the supporting cast now, and we're going to be very careful. We're not going to spoil anything here, so I'm just going to literally talk about, so not the storyline, but the characters themselves. A pleasant surprise. Actually, no, I'll leave the media card just for a second. We'll move on to Woody Harrelson's character, which for me was, out of the new characters, the surprise MVP. I absolutely loved his character from start to end.
Woody Harrelson is an amazing actor. Everything he's ever done has been excellent. Adding to the fact that his dad was a former hitman, and you've always got that creepy presence that when you see him with guns in films, that he actually knows what he's doing. And I was very excited when they announced him to be in this, that he was, of course, Beckett, the mentor figure. That's his description. Originally, Christine Bell was in talks for this role, and a part of me would have loved to see Christine Bell in the Stars film, but now I've seen Woody, I couldn't have imagined anyone else doing it the way it was done. He was amazing as ever, and he worked. His character of Tobias Beckett worked, and it's great seeing new characters once more.
It's just, I thought he played, it's I was worried when it was Woody Harrelson, because it's Woody Harrelson, and it's one of those things that you kind of think, oh, if it's him, is he going to take me out of the movie? Not at all. He was, from the moment he came on, I was sold on that character straight away. Didn't take me out of the movie at all. At no point was like, oh, Woody Harrelson. I thought he played his part really, really, really well. Really enjoyed it. It's going to be, if we're talking about each character, I enjoyed pretty much all the ensemble cast came across really, really well. Even people who aren't expected to be great actresses by maybe some people, George.
No, I've got my defense on that. I guess, is it fair to talk about Kira?
We might as well talk here. Yeah, go on.
I am a humongous Game of Thrones fan. So I've watched Emilia Clarke for many years on screen, and I've also sat through Terminator Genesis. I'm not the biggest fan of her as an actress. If you look, you can get any Game of Thrones clip ever, and there's no range, there's no emotion. It's the same from beginning to end. Every other film cinema. And in this, I got very worried on the opening scene. Granted, it was that opening scene that if anyone's seen it, you'd know why anyone was worried. And as the film grew, and we got to not know her character more because we didn't, but she was fitting in for the first time that I've seen Emilia Clarke, that she didn't feel miscast. And I give her a lot of credit for it. There was a couple of moments which was always slipping into that dangerous wood territory. But overall, I thought she worked well for what they were doing with her. And I think the casting off it did work this time.
Yeah, so you're right. Again, it was mainly the first 10-15 minutes. There's a couple of lines that didn't quite work for me for her, but overall, I was impressed, and she has a really good story arc in this. But yeah, so I mean, through it all, it's been a really good ride. I can't really recommend this highly enough.
Indeed, and it's one of those films that we all went in open eye. We said we would all give it a viewing. We would give it a honest chance. No expectations, but after, so we'll give it an honest chance, but low expectations. And I came out of that with I went in open eyes, and I came out going almost speechless and loving this film. And for me, they took us a sort of story that I wasn't sure I wanted to see, and turned into one I want to see more and more. And for me, I cannot give it any higher praise than that.
So yeah, I think really it's just final thoughts. I mean, it's really hard to go in this, and we will do a spoiler-filled review probably at some point next week. We'll give it some time to be out there, probably a week, so everyone gets a chance to see it before we go into this. Because honestly, this has been a quick chat, but there is so much to spoil that we'd love to just go into now, because there are moments in this that left my jaw open wide on the floor. But overall, if I can recommend it highly enough, this is a really, really great addition to the Star Wars saga. Movies, picture, offshoots, standalones. Go see this movie.
Yeah, I would say I didn't say the exact same thing. It's a blast. It's a fun, enjoyable cinematic experience. It's what you want from a Star Wars film. It's why you go to the cinema to watch a Star Wars film. And it has defied expectations. And I think this will have not a cult following, but I think amongst the Star Wars fans, this will probably be accepted, maybe more so than some recent films. So be very interested in once this opens in America tomorrow, see the general consensus. But in the meantime, I would say go watch this film. You will enjoy yourself.
Indeed. I mean, final thoughts from me. We'll leave it off from here. Episode 8, we came out, a lot of people thinking it was a great movie, not potentially a great Star Wars movie. That has grown in time. I came out of this going immediately, this was a great Star Wars movie. For me, as I said, can't give it any higher praise. Please go watch it. We're not going to spoil anything here. As the guy said, we'll be back maybe next week doing a spoiler-filled review. We'll keep you posted on that. But for now, thank you, George and Dave. Thank you to everyone who's been watching online. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. You'll find us on iTunes and on SoundCloud for the audio versions. You can find us here on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Thank you so much for joining us. We want the Force, where the Force will be with you. Bye.